We're staying in our using text.dwg file. And in the previous video, I showed you some little tips and tricks and more annotation text techniques that allowed you to align your text in your AutoCAD drawings. What we're going to take a look at now is we're going to utilize some multi-line text to place some notes in a title block for our drawing. So good CAD practice to get into. When you're finished in the Model tab, do a double click on the wheel to zoom extents like that. Always do this because then you know where you are the next time you come into the Model tab. You can see everything rather than, say, just those desks there if I zoom in really tight. Now, I don't want to come out of the Model tab zoomed in like that because nobody knows where you are in the drawing. It's a simple double click on the wheel and make sure that you zoom extents. That way, when you come into the Model tab, you see everything and you know where to locate yourself in the drawing. Let's go down to the Layout tab, ISO A1 Landscape. If I click on that, there's a very simple title block in place. You can see the viewport. There's a viewport there just showing the overall floor plan. Now, over here in the top right corner, I've placed a rectangle. Can you see it there? And it's on the title block layer. Now, the reason I've done that is to allow you to place some notes in a notes column on your title block. So to do that, we're going to go to the layer drop down in the layers panel on the home tab and use our title text layer like so. We're then going to zoom in here like so. And we're going to make sure that we can see the top of the rectangle there like that. Now, we are on the right layer. Do we actually have a text style that we can use to place our multi-line text? I'm going to go to the annotation drop down here and click here on the text style editor like so. So there's all our text styles there. We've got labels model 250 millimeters. We've also got title layout 10 millimeters. We haven't got a notes style anywhere. So we're going to click on new and the style name will be notes like so, underscore and then layout. You'd only use this in your layout tabs and then underscore again 3.5 millimeters like so. Click on OK and there's our notes layout 3.5 millimeters. I'm going to leave the font name Calibri. I'm going to leave the font style regular. It's not going to be 250 though. I'm going to change that to 3.5 millimeters. It won't be annotative because you're placing it in the layout already. We don't need any effects. We don't need any width factors or oblique angles. So we apply that and we set it as our current text style and close. If I go to the drop down now, can you see we're using notes layout 3.5 millimeters? Yes, it did disappear. I'll just pin it open so you can see it again. There we go. Notes layout 3.5 millimeters in our text styles here, as you can see. I'll just unpin that, pops back into the ribbon. We go up to the annotation panel now, and we go multi-line text. Now, this is where we can utilize our snaps because this rectangle is the space where I want the multi-line text to go. So I can click here, left click. And as I come down, can you see I can obviously come down to a snap, let's say halfway down. There's a midpoint there. I don't have to go all the way down. I can if I want to and click there like that. And I know that that text now will fit in that rectangle. Once you've clicked on the snaps, zoom in and just pan to make sure you can see what you're doing and click in the text editing area. See the little cursor there? Click inside to make sure that AutoCAD knows that you're typing text in that particular box. So I'm just going to type notes like that, perhaps put a colon afterwards, and then press enter once, and I'm down to the next line down. Now, this is where I can go up to bullets and numbering because I'm using multi-line text, and I'm going to go numbered. So there's my first one there. So we'll say all dimensions in millimeters, which they are, like so. Press enter, next one down. All changes must be verified by principal engineer. Let's just put a couple of notes in like that. If I click away from that text or click on close text editor, there's my notes column there. Now, the rectangle that I've placed outside it, I do not need anymore because the notes now have their own justification and object snap, the insertion snap. So I can click there and I can just delete the rectangle, and now they fit nicely in the notes column because I gave them that little 5mm around the edge. So always use a sacrificial rectangle like that to get your notes looking neat and tidy in your notes column. Now, all looks a bit bland at the moment, doesn't it? So if I double click on the multi-line text, I'll highlight the notes there, maybe do a bold and an underline like that. Close the text editor, looks a bit better, stands out a bit more. But that underline's really close to the number 1, isn't it? So let's double click on it again. Just click there, get next to the colon there, press that, have a space there as well. Now, something else you'll notice is my millimeters is spelt the English way because I'm English. Okay, that's why I've spelt it that way. But it may be that this is an American drawing and the spelling needs to change. So what I'll do is I'll just click away from the text and update it accordingly. And then I'm going to go to the Annotate tab here on the ribbon. And there's a little ABC with a green tick. That's my spell check. You have no excuse for bad spelling or bad grammar in AutoCAD. Check spelling like so. And I'm going to go here, instead of entire drawing, I'm going to say selected objects. Click here to select the object, and I'm going to select my text like so. Enter to confirm. And be aware here, you have to click on start in the spell check. And of course, it finds millimeters there, not in the dictionary because it's using the American English dictionary, like so. I can add it to the dictionary, or I could potentially change it to the American spelling, and it updates. Spell check complete, close the check spelling dialog box, and now we're in the American spelling of millimeters. Now, obviously I've done that deliberately because I would spell millimeters the English way, but the spell check is there basically to make sure that your drawings go out in a professional fashion, especially in your notes column using your multi-line text. You can spell check quickly and easily. You'll also notice if I double click on the multi-line text, the spell check is available here as well in the text editor. There's spell check right there. And it will pick up as you type by underlining with a little red dash line anything it's not sure about. I'll close the text editor. And that's how you can work with some multi-line text in your title block in your AutoCAD drawings. Now, one more thing, that good little bit of CAD practice. Double click on the wheel to zoom extents like so before you come out of the drawing. Make sure you save the drawing like this so that next time somebody comes into the drawing, they can obviously see what's going on. They can see that they're in the layout tab, they can see the viewport, the title block, the notes, etc.